I think when we define the idea of call in terms of just a specific place we're supposed to be or a specific thing we're supposed to do, we limit the depth and breadth of what God is trying to do in our lives, of what God wants to use us for. And yet, because God is big, He speaks beyond that and even speaks through our stumblings and our misgivings and our humanness. I'm thinking of the call of Abraham, and I'm looking at this Genesis 12:1. Now the Lord said to Abraham, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land where I will show you." And up until recently, I thought of that as like, oh, okay, that was Abraham's call. That's it. That's it. And I'm having been through the decades that I've been through and trying to work out my call and live out my call, I wonder how much Abraham got confused and how much got he got folk uh, focus changed and how much, well, obviously he messed up a lot. The Bible talks about that. And I wonder how Abraham felt at that age when God said, "Go do this." At the age he was at, going, "Okay, I'll do it." Is that how he thought of it? Do you think, "Okay, I'm called to do this one thing. Why don't I do it?" Well, that's certainly how I felt. I was not 70 years old. I was 11. I was right across the creek. I'm in the middle of nowhere right now. Never thought I'd come back here. But I was across the creek at a youth retreat that I was not even old enough to go to. And on the Sunday morning, it was a Salvation Army youth retreat. Um, they said, if you feel the call to be a Salvation Army officer, come up. Now, they did this all the time, but I felt the call. I felt the call. The only words that I had for that were, if I'm in a call to be in ministry, if I'm in a call to serve the Lord, the way I do it is as a Salvation Army officer. So that was it. That's all. If I'm called to serve the Lord in a pastoral or in a ministerial way, then it has to be as a Salvation Army officer. So I spent years chasing this call, like decades, and going away and coming back and going away. Never from the Lord. I always tried to be faithful, but up until about 10 or 12 years ago, I thought that meant I'm moving towards ordained ministry within the Salvation Army as a Salvation Army officer. So, about 11 years ago, that really fell apart when just a few different things happened in my family. And I realized I'm not going to be able to do this thing that I thought I was moving towards my whole life. And there was a sense of profound loss and devastation. But at the same time, I was thinking, I'm still being faithful to God. God's still going to use me. I'm still called, but I'm not gonna be a Salvation Army officer at this point. I'm like, I don't want to be. This isn't there's nothing against that, but this was not my path. And it almost gave me a little bit of identity crisis. But when I dropped that thing where I thought, call means I'm gonna do this thing right now. Um, I'm just now realizing there was a sense of identity developing, a sense of depth, a sense of leaning on the Lord. And somehow in there, I can't tell you where exactly the shift was made, other than to know within the last few weeks, it's become more clear to me. Call stopped becoming that thing I'm supposed to do for God, that place I'm supposed to be for God. And it became more of a who, not just a who, but a blossoming, if you will. I'm not a horticulturalist, but a blossoming where God calls us to follow him. Like he said to Abraham, his original call, just go where I tell you to go. Go where I tell you to go, and I'll bless you. So I'm beginning to learn that even in my stumblings, I have been living out God's call for my life. I have made mistakes. I have made missteps, but I have leaned into God and I've gone all over and done things that I never thought that I was going to do. And as nomadic as that feels, I look at the desert fathers and go, that's okay because God is God. Our call, it may be a specific time, event, location for part of our life, but it's really rest in God, follow God, be where God is, learn from your mistakes. The ultimate call is the call to faithfulness. Within that, there are divine appointments, and I've had those, and I continue to have those. And I hope to have a promised land home where I'm not moving around. But in the meantime, I'm starting to rest in that knowledge and in that peace that I am leaning into who I'm God called to be, and God is there all along, so I don't have to worry about, "I'm gonna miss it," because God's not gonna miss me.